Can astrology help me understand the challenges in my current relationship? Definitely so. The compatibility that you can have a look at will show you overall the pros and cons of your relationship. When looking at the compatibility, I always look at what would be the main themes for each person individually. It's really important to understand the natal chart of each person on their own, because it's imperative that every person is their own master. That's the very important thing that I want to communicate. No matter how much we would want, we cannot change other people. Other people change themselves. That creates so much more room for A, understanding, B, improvement, and C, the compatibility. What is actually defining this relationship? So what are the precursors for the long-lasting relationships? That's the first thing that I look at, especially if the person who is inquiring is serious and want to settle down and want to connect on all levels, really. Then I look at the synastry chart, which is two charts on top of one another. Very personalized to have a full picture of the interactions between two people. And I can give particular examples where even so to say, like a negative aspect or interaction between two people can actually be playing out in a very constructive way. Any compatibility can be made accessible to both people, to both parties, but the question is, do they want to work on that relationship? And that is what is the most important thing. How ready you are to work on the relationship. If the compatibility, let's say, is not ideal, and I would just say it will never be. It will never be ideal. Most of the time, people have to make compromise and adjustments. And that's where love comes in, because love tends to conquer any challenge there could be. And as long as you have that, you can make the astrology work for you rather than against you. But so good to know, and I know many examples where I just saved people's lives, and not just lives, but times, saying this would probably be the scenario in this case, or a couple of scenarios, and the other person then has to follow their intuition and their gut feeling and reassert themselves in their hunches that they felt but were not really sure, because there was no practical proof behind it. Let's say it's a new connection. They just want to know what is in store, not in terms of the future prediction, but what would be the climate in this relationship. And the good astrologer will be able to tell you that. It's a work that needs to be applied by both parties, can save the relationship, give grace to the partner who is experiencing it, and to the other one as well. And that is how I would answer this question. Can astrology help me understand the challenges in my current relationship? The short answer is, of course, it can. And I'm using it in all my connections, almost, the lucky ones. And I know the chart of me and my husband, and when there is something creeping in, I just understand that I think this is what it is. Just give you an example. So my Venus is opposing my husband's Mars, and his Venus is squaring my Mars. So knowing that, I know that we come from different places sometimes, and there's a little bit of that healthy competition and sometimes the bickering. But I don't know. I know now where it comes. I know where the bickering comes from, and I know my role that I play in this, and it makes me just soften those edges a little bit more. It doesn't come as big news or a big surprise. I know that there is a possibility for such a dynamic, and this is pretty much just like pruning the flowers. You just do a little prune and the flower keeps growing, and the fruits are sweeter and the flowers are brighter. So this is how astrology works for your relationship. And if you want to have a check-in with me on you and your partner, how you guys doing and going, and where it is all going, and where was it coming from, as far even as past lives, and the wounds of betrayal or anything like that can be looked at as well in terms of the karma, and it could go beyond the practical. It can go beyond the practical for sure. And I love you guys, and I'm wishing you a great week.